get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you'll get with this, cause this is where it's at. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you'll get with this, cause this is where it's at. You can get with this.
And thank you, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We are here with the crew, and man, we got a topic today that I've been really excited about. Actually, it's a topic that this is probably one of the first times we're really doing this on the show. But if you don't know, we are major fans of wrestling. And here we go, man. We want to talk about the top tag teams of all time. But I can't do that without my crew first going around the horn. I'm going to start off with, man, Phenom 202. What's going on, brother?
Phenom 202, DDA representative. Yo, man, I'm with the shits today, baby. Got my Ric Flair shirt on. Ooh, I want to see what y'all, we gonna argue or not, yo. We got to come up with a good list, yo. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it.
This is going to be good, man. And without further ado, last but not least, my partner in crime, Hollywood DA.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to jump on this, too, because I'll be honest, man. You know, I don't know nothing about this new foo-foo wrestling shit, but when we take it back to today, I'm going to be there for the back in the days. Y'all don't have to help me out with this more modernized, but, you know what I mean? You know, I'm a Jay-Z Nas. I don't know nothing about Lil Baby. The Baby.
The Lil Baby rappers.
Yeah.
The OG rappers.
That's
the
how,
OG wrestlers.
That's how I look at, that's how I look at the wrestling game.
Hey, man. But, you know, we're definitely going to do the eras, which I feel is like this all encompassing of the golden age of wrestling. Don't get me wrong. There's some new guys in there now, but the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. So we're definitely going to hit that box of wrestling that a lot of people are familiar with around our age anyway, with the AWA, the NWA, the WCW, the WWF, and of course the early stages of the WWE when that Attitude Era. So that's what we want to hit in that box right there. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. We'll start off with Phenom because Phenom, I know you and I are pretty deep in wrestling lore. So what are your thoughts on, man, this tag team list we have here?
So I'm gonna start off with a tag team that, you know, I scoured the internet, looked at a lot of people's lists, just kind of see, you know, did they have the same mindsets as I did. Yeah. One of the teams that came up was the Rock and Roll Express, man.
yeah. I remember Rock and Roll Express.
I mean, when I saw Rock and Roll Express, I used to love the Rock and Roll Express. And like I said, some of the stuff that, you know, we look at that's going to make the list: charisma, can they wrestle, stage presence, and did it just wow you? They wowed you, yo. They had, if you go back and look to YouTube and look at their intros, everybody was man. Rock and Roll Express was fire back in the day.
Rock and Roll Express was off the chain, and I love it because they had the bandanas on their arms, all on their legs. Yep. They would go through the crowd, be high-fiving everybody. And they were one of the first, at least for me, one of the first like high-flying tag teams. Like they were high flyers as well. So I don't remember the names of the group. But
Ricky Morton and Bobby, God, what's his name, yo?
I can't remember the name of it, but oh my God, the Rock and Roll Express. And the thing about the Rock and Roll Express is I remember they were in AWA or NWA at the time, and they were always going against the Midnight Express.
Yep.
Like,
I do remember that.
You know what? Yeah, Bobby, beautiful Bobby.
It's Sweet Stan.
Yeah, I probably got all about the Midnight Express with your boy, because that's what they had your boy, the manager, yo.
Jimmy Cornette.
Oh, Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette,
with the loaded tennis racket? Oh, my God, yo.
Yeah, they were always winning their matches because of that damn tennis racket. He would throw that shit in the ring and they'll hit the people on the back with it. Yeah.
But Rock and Roll Express
was so good, yo.
Yeah, it was Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton. I just had to look it up.
Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton, yo.
But I will say, I'm with you. I mean, they definitely, like, for me, they're probably up there high up, because that was when I was first getting into wrestling for real. And they were like I mean, it was the Rock and Roll Express. They were kind of like the rock stars, you know. They was kind of like the pretty boys. Yeah. All the girls liked them or whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, it was like high flying, all that type of shit too. So early on.
Yeah, you know what their finishing move was?
No, what was the finishing move?
The double drop kick, yo.
Oh, yeah.
The first one was the double drop kick.
Yep. That's what it was.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. As soon as you said that, you know what? it's amazing how wrestling was back in the day. The finishing moves really weren't complex back in the day. But they were effective. And the double drop kick, yo.
Because Hulk Hogan, arguably the greatest wrestler of all time. Maybe not skill wise, but you know what I'm saying, as far as fame, fanfare, all that. Like, he carried wrestling for a long, long time. What was his finishing move? A motherfucking leg drop.
Leg drop.
All this shit, motherfuckers been slamming, throwing you off the top of cages. All it took was somebody to jump up and drop a leg on you. It was
and drop a leg on you. And it's over.
Facts.
That's so true, yo. A leg drop out of all moves. That was crazy. Oh man, Rock and Roll Express, good one, man. I love them. They were the group. They were definitely babyface tag team, like through and through. I don't think they ever turned heel, ever.
Nah, I think they were always good.
Yeah, they were always good. I think.
Yeah, they were always babyface. But like I said, the flip side of the Rock and Roll Express is, of course, the Midnight Express with like I love Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan, man.
Well, Bobby wasn't that beautiful, yo. If you look at him,
he wasn't.
It wasn't that beautiful for Bobby.
Man, he did have some size on him.
Man, he had serious dad bod going on, and he was kicking everybody's ass. But I never figured out why they were always winning all the time. But I didn't realize until about a couple of years ago that the NWA, and that was all part of Jimmy. It was promotions. He was part of the whole
Jim
thing.
Cornette, he's still big now. He has a big podcast now. Yo.
Yeah, but
I never knew that.
Like, he had a whole region he was running.
Yeah.
So
so that explains why they won so much, because that was his product. But he
was good though. He was good as a manager.
He was really good. Yeah, he was really good as a manager. He could definitely talk the mic. He was probably one of the best people at the time that could really talk on the mic. Because Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan barely said a word.
Yeah, for real.
Jimmy Cornette did a lot of the talking.
Fact show.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna let you throw one out, yo. What's a tag team that you idolized growing up and you think should be on this list, man?
I mean, who I think is the best right now,
they gotta be the best, just one.
Just somebody.
We already know who, at least in the top two of all time. But
I don't know if my favorites don't be in the top two, but I'll say, I don't throw it out there for the black people, yo. I give it up for the Harlem Heat, yo. I'm just gonna go with the black folks. Harlem Booker T.
Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray. Yo. And Booker T has one of my favorite clips ever when he called Hulk Hogan a nigga. Every time I see somebody post that shit online, I watch it. Like, every time, yo. It don't matter what I'm doing.
That
is one of the best clips ever. That's when you really in character, for real.
It come out, yo. And then Sister Sherry rubbing on him like, it's okay, baby. He fucked up, yo.
And if you watch it over and over again, it was like after he said it, he knew he fucked up.
He knew.
Like, he tried to turn away from the camera. Sensational Sherry started rubbing him like, it's all right. He's like, come on, nigga. His arms was all pumped up and shit. You ain't gonna get us, nigga. That shit was classic, yo.
Yeah, it is classic, man.
You know what? I think I'm gonna have to put that on one of my videos, man. Like, that's when you know you done fucked up.
Yeah, that's a good one, yo.
They held it down for a minute, you know what I mean? And then Booker T went on to have a pretty successful singles run too. So
absolutely,
he won the belt.
5-time champion. But Booker T was the better of Harlem Heat, and I really gravitated towards Harlem Heat anyway, because it was one of the few times you got to saw a person of color as a tag team.
Exactly.
I mean, because let's be honest, back in the day, for people of color that were tag teams, they didn't have the best names. They had the wackest characters. They didn't have anything going for them.
What about your boy Coco Beware?
That's what I'm saying. Coco Beware.
Like, JYD was nice, but Coco Beware was.
Coco Beware was awful. Terrible.
But,
and Ron Simmons.
Doom, yo.
Doom was good though. I go for you like Doom. Yo, Doom
Ron
was
Simmons and
Butch Reed.
I did like them. I just like somebody's got to tell him to get that George Jefferson haircut.
Oh yeah, I
That was
mean,
the
yeah,
issue.
Ron Simmons rocked that to the end.
He was 28 at the time.
I know.
28 with a George Jefferson.
Yeah.
That was the issue.
ruthless.
I was like, yo, you look so old, yo.
Well, yo, he was like big black dudes, intimidating.
Yeah.
They was all black.
Yeah, they was
I
like-
remember them.
Yeah, they was going hard, yo. I fuck with Doom, yo.
Yeah. But yeah, you said about the Harlem Heat. Yeah, Harlem Heat was good. Clearly Booker T was the better of that, and that's why he wound up becoming one of the best. You know, I mean, he went into the Hall of Fame. King Booker. I mean, who didn't love that run? I mean, that was all good. So let's go to some other ones on the list. Let me see here. Let me throw one out here, man. And this was probably, we're going to go a little jump ahead to the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a huge fan of the New Age Outlaws, man, with my man, the Road Dogg Jesse James, and the badass Billy Gunn.
Yeah,
The New Age Outlaws. I was such a fan of that. You know?
Dog, I swear, when we was in college, we never missed a night of Monday Night Raw.
Never.
20 dudes in a row watching.
Oh,
We
yeah.
couldn't wait till Generation X come out.
I had to lie. I had to look them up. Now, as soon as I see them, I was like, oh, yeah, there you go. Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. You know I got bad memory. We go ahead.
Now, Venus is calling. We were all crowded in that room watching Monday Night Raw. I mean, for real, from beginning to end. I mean, the Generation X just was part of the Attitude Era, but damn, man, the New Age Outlaws. Yo,
They were
Yeah,
funny,
that's right.
man.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
were.
they
They
could
were crazy.
wrestle. They could funny. That was funny. But the
They
thing
were good on
about it
the
is,
mic.
and I was about to say, back in the day when we was watching wrestling, I'm not sure how it is now because I don't watch it as much. We only got like 20 minutes of wrestling in a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
All the other stuff was just talking, and they knew how to rock the mic, yo.
Yeah, that's true. They really did. I mean, you had two guys that really could do it, because whether it was Jesse James on the mic, he'll pass it to Billy Gunn. They both were on the mic. So, and then they had the hell of an intro. I mean, the intro was just, as soon as they come out, you better ask somebody. It's me, that D-O-double-G.
Definitely, yo.
I remember all that shit, yo. So
I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, like badass Billy Gunn had one of the flyest finishing moves too. Like you bend over like this, he come with that flying leg drop.
Flying leg drop.
That joint, we execute that joint. That joint looks sweet, yo.
It does. Yeah, man, you got to give it up, man. And it makes you even start to even think about D-Generation X as a whole, because they were a group. So going to that concept as far as a group, there definitely were some group tag teams out there back in the day. So does anybody have any list? I know one of the first ones that I knew of was the Freebirds.
Oh,
The Freebirds.
Fabulous Freebirds.
The Fabulous Freebirds. Yeah, your boy Terry.
The Freebirds was because them and the Von Erichs used to battle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It used to be crazy. Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, and Buddy Roberts, yo.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Michael Hayes was like, he was like the coolest cat.
Michael Hayes was the cool. He was the guy.
Yeah,
man.
the flavor,
he was the
yo.
coolest guy, yo, at the crew, yo. And that was the first time that I had ever experienced watching that there was multiple. Because I always thought the concept as a tag team was two. You know, it was always two people, but they were like a group, and different people were always interchanging the belt and fighting to defend the title. It was odd to me, but it was a really cool concept. And man, who didn't like the Fabulous Freebirds? Man? I thought they were dope.
Yeah, they definitely rocked it out. Like you said, it was always fighting the Von Erichs. Von Erichs, I feel they, it's like one of the most cursed families ever. Unfortunately, they all kept dying. So. But they had the Texas, they had the Texas tornado or whatever the fuck.
Terry Von Erich.
Yeah, the tornado shit. So I remember them. So that was crazy. But yeah, those are the collectives. I mean, the greatest collective though. I mean, it's only one as far as a collective. There you go. It's 4 horsemen. Ain't too many. The greatest.
That goes without saying.
So. Yeah. I mean, I guess they had a tag team, the Anderson brothers.
They had a tag team within the team.
Yeah, the Anderson brothers,
Ole and Arn.
Ole and Arn. But
honestly, it was Ole and Arn Anderson. But to me, I thought a better tag team was when it was Arn Anderson and Telly Blanchard. I thought that was a better tag.
Brainbusters? Oh no, come on.
But Telly Blanchard would do the slingshot suplex.
Off the rope.
I thought that was a better tag team. To me, that's the when Four Horsemen was on top. It was Ric Flair, Telly Blanchard, Arn Anderson, I think Barry Windham. Those were
Barry
like
Windham, then you have Lex Luger.
Lex
Luger and them coming in. Yeah, you know the torture rack.
Man, I used to love putting the torture rack on little kids. Yo.
Yeah, that was the thing. Anytime you found somebody you could pick up, you put their ass on torture rack. Back then, he was like, "Oh, you like know how I can pick your ass up? You going up?"
That is, you gotta admit, that's probably one of the most iconic moves in wrestling. Because when Lex Luger came into it, I mean, he really kind of took off. He was almost like but he was way better. But he was almost like that Goldberg of the Attitude Era. Like he came in real big, extremely muscular guy. Except he could actually wrestle though.
Yeah.
He could actually wrestle, and he was actually good on the mic too. He wasn't that bad on the mic.
He wasn't
great,
that bad.
but he wasn't bad because some people are horrible on the mic.
But and speaking of the mic, what made the Four Horsemen the greatest collection of all time? It's the greatest man ever to rock the mic. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? Woo!
Yeah.
Ric Flair, yo.
Gotta give it up for Ric Flair, man. That's
Look, man.
Oh, you're rocking the shirt right now.
Yo,
what's
this the
up?
old Ric Flair. This is 74 Ric Flair right here, baby.
Wow.
Hey, but Ric Flair is the best of all time when it come to talk. I think Ric Flair, Rock, and Stone Cold.
Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, those are my top three. Ric Flair is like the Jordan of it.
Yeah, because you gotta look at with the other people, that's always like when you compare people, it's hard to compare generations. You gotta compare them to their peers. Like that's how I kind of do, like how great you are. Ric Flair was so far ahead of his peers. Like The Rock and Stone Cold was good, but by that time it was other people good on the mic. Rick was like, you had some people good on the mic, but he was light years ahead. Like you want to hear Ric Flair talk.
Yeah,
he sound like a pimp, yo. He sound like a pimp, yo.
He was really good. And if you listen to Ric Flair, it's almost like, golly, like how did he just do that? Like the moment he comes out into that, he's putting on that heel, he's getting on the mic, and he's just ripping.
Yes.
But it's so good, it's so charismatic, it's so on point. He's yelling, he's fired up, and he's coming with everything off the top of his head. Yeah. You're hanging on every word this guy's saying. I'm
just looking read some shit he used to say, yo, especially for this time, like because he was like the big money dude. He was like, last year,
catchphrases.
Yeah, I spent more money on this. He said, licking bars from one side of the world to the other than you made. I'm talking Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, Kiss 6,
wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying. Yeah.
He's like, I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
I told you, man. Ric Flair had that flavor, yo.
Yo, he was definitely a pimp.
He had the sayings. More than probably anybody at the time. He was light years ahead. Like a lot of people can talk about those Ric Flair sayings, like to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Yeah, he definitely was I don't know if he invented that saying or not, but that's who I got it from. Like,
and guess what? They say it in every sports arena. They say it everywhere. They say it in boxing, all that stuff.
Yeah, to be the man, you got to beat the man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Space Mountain. It might be the oldest ride in the park, but it's always got the longest line.
Yes. Yeah, man. Oh, man. Ric Flair.
Yeah, man. He carried the Four Horsemen, yo. The Four Horsemen was the shit, man.
Yeah, he is the anchor, the rock of that Four Horsemen. You don't have the Four Horsemen without Ric Flair. You just don't. It is just the other guys. Really. Yeah. I mean, even though they're good, but you need Ric Flair, yo. So got to give it a Four Horsemen. Four Horsemen could be number one or number two. They flip flop depending on, I guess, how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah, you're right, yo. I'm gonna throw one out there. Steiner Brothers, yo.
Yeah. See, I ain't gonna lie, yo. The Steiner Brothers is my favorite tag team of all time.
Is your favorite?
That's your favorite tag team. Okay.
I can see that. I can't argue with
the
that.
Suplexes, because when they came in and started doing the suplexes, that's when I was on it. I was like, yo, these cats, they did belly to belly, belly to back.
Belly
this,
suplex,
this, that. Like, you name it, yo, they had a suplex for everything.
And it looked real. It looked like it really hurt. And they were fast and explosive.
Yeah.
That was the thing you never really saw either, like the explosiveness of their moves.
But also,
was
you
good.
ain't see nobody jumping on with the Frankensteiner, yo.
Yeah.
know, when he
Oh,
jumped,
the
put the
French
legs on the head and
flip. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
And he wasn't a small dude either.
No, those are some pretty big dudes, and they was like, I'm sure other people were wrestlers for real. Excuse me, but they was like the first people I thought were real wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? They had the
Because they had
head,
the
they had the head.
Syracuse.
No, they
Michigan.
from Michigan.
No, Michigan.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Michigan,
don't even know if
sorry.
they wrestled in college.
They wrestled, yeah.
They did wrestle in
That's why-
college. But I was like,
that would
yo,
explain it.
like they was like, boom. I was like, yo, these dudes real wrestlers. They had the wrestling suits, like you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying. They came in there ready to go.
Yeah, man.
You know, scores.
I can't argue. I can't argue with that. Steiner Brothers is on point.
I can
Steiner
see
Brothers
that
on
being
point.
somebody's favorite, man. I mean,
Yeah.
like when they came in the ring, like with the varsity jackets on, the headgear,
Yes.
they was big. They was really wrestling.
Yeah.
It's
no,
a
they-
shame they never won a title. Did they ever win the title? I don't know if they ever won.
I'm trying to think. They may not have won the title. Yeah.
I think they might have gotten close, maybe a United States championship or a television title, but I don't know if they've ever physically won the title. Let me see really
They
quick.
did.
I
They
don't
did.
know.
They won it a couple times. They beat
Oh.
Harlem Heat and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
they was beefing with the outsiders, yo.
the
Razor
Outsiders.
Ramon and Nash and
Really?
Scott Hall, yo.
Well, that was during the Monday night. That was during WCW Nitro era. You know,
Yeah,
which
it was.
but let's go into that though, because the Outsiders was a group. It was three, or see, I consider the Outsiders three, but some people argue and say it's four. So you have Hulk Hogan, you have Kevin Nash, you have Razor Ramon. Those are the three that I always consider.
That's
the Outsiders.
NWO. Outsiders was just Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. They was
Scott
like,
Hall.
you know, he came in with the toothpick.
Yeah.
I said Razor Ramon. Well, it is
No, Razor Ramon. He
Razor
was
Ramon.
the same person.
Yes.
It was,
Sorry.
yeah, they were the same person. Yeah, he just changed it up.
So the Outsiders was just those two. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because that's when they used to walk on. He used to walk on the rope. Just look at this hell of a hunk of a man. Like I don't even. Your boy used to be saying all types of stuff. Walking these ropes. Oh my
That's
god!
when he held him by the arm and was walking the ropes.
Yeah.
Walk on ropes. Yes, they jump off. I forgot that. Okay. The Outsiders, I mean, you got to give it up. They were a good group. I don't know if I would consider them some of the best groups, but they definitely were iconic because they came right at a time period where the Attitude Era was on
Yeah,
fire.
right when it came.
Yeah, I mean, they were big.
And they were big. Yeah, that's what they're so tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is like looking at like their finishing move. I think who was it? Was it Razor Ramon or whatever? He put you on your back, carry you around like this.
That's Kevin Nash.
Yeah, somebody used to pick him up on the back and just drop on the end.
Yeah, that's Kevin Nash. Yeah, that was a hell of a finish move.
Yeah,
definitely
That was a hell of a finish. Yeah, that was a hell of a finish move.
But
let's
like you said, NWO, we could throw NWO.
Yeah, as far as collective,
as far as collective group, I mean that's a good group. Hogan, Hollywood Hogan. I'm sorry, we got to make sure to say that. Hollywood Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall.
Yeah,
those are what I consider the NWO.
Yeah, they basically
but some people
saved
throw X-Pac in that. I don't know if I ever consider X-Pac. I don't know.
No, I ain't. No,
he's the generation, yo.
Yeah,
I never considered that.
Yeah, if I think X-Pac, I think Generation X. What is it? DX, whatever. You know, I'm thinking of that. I don't think of him as NWO at all.
Me neither. I've never did that, but some wrestling historians have him with NWO, and I was like, nah, man, he came later.
Yeah,
but he ain't part of the original NWO that came into WCW. It was just the three.
But you do got to give NWO their respect because they basically saved WCW. Like when that shit happened, because WWF was killing. Monday Night Raw, boom, boom, boom. Once Hulk Hogan came out there and flipped. Motherfuckers just throwing shit in the ring, like boom, like it was like crazy.
I was gonna ask y'all, do y'all think Hulk Hogan was a good heel?
I think he was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that was when I realized, like, you know what? Now I see why he was the guy that Vince McMahon went with in the '80s, because he's good at that. He's good at being the character that you need to carry the ship, the flagship. And that's what he did with WCW, turn the heel.
Yeah, once he turned heel, like that really like set up the Monday Night War, like the rest, like the wars. You know what I mean? Of course, WWF ended up winning out, But it was a time period. I mean, I think that was like one of the only times WCW would start beating them in the ratings. So it was like
That's correct.
Like then once they, because WWF was always winning. Once that happened, they actually started losing in the ratings battle for a nice little period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it was
crazy.
a strong battle for at least maybe a year and a half where they
remember,
were.
WCW was also giving away storylines. Like they'd be announcing on WCW what's going to happen on WWF. You know what I'm saying? So they had, it was fighting dirty. They was dirty macking.
That's hard. That's hard. Like, why go over there? I'll tell you what's going to happen. That's fucked up.
It happened.
Shout out WCW.
But you got to give it up, man. That NWO concept. Yeah. I mean, that shirt. New World Order.
Yeah, everything, yo. We had all them shirts. Like Sam,
them shirts were hot,
shout out to Sam. Sam used to go down, steal them joints from the beachfront. Where he worked at that t-shirt shop, so he used to come home with like all the I had Stone Cold shirts, like NWO shirts, Wolfpack. Remember the Wolfpack?
Yeah, I still got my DX shirt.
Wolfpack, yes.
All that shit.
Wolfpack, that was good, man. That was good. I think the downfall, which I think a lot of people will say, that the downfall of WCW is they thought they had the winning formula and they never changed it up, and it got old. Like they never figured out how to do anything different other than do the same thing. And NWO became a group of 3, and by the end of the year, there was like a group of 20.
Yeah, and then Sting flip.
Yeah,
and that's what they had to. It was everybody's doing bad.
Yeah, that was the issue. You can't have everybody be bad because then nobody's good. It was like every other week another person was joining the NWO, and it was like, okay, what's going on now? But other than that, you got to give it up. NWO was hot. Let's see what else they got on the list. Okay, all right, so we can go with the group that I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the biggest fan of this group. But maybe a lot of people are. Maybe you guys are. I wasn't a big fan of the Hart Foundation, but I don't know. I think they're a great tag team, but I wasn't a big fan of Hart Foundation. I
definitely was.
I don't know. I'm with Corey. We'll let you speak. I'm with Corey. I didn't get moved either way. I like oh my god, Bret Hart. Yeah, I definitely had a brain fart. I mean, he's definitely one of the greatest wrestlers ever. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just they ain't do it for me, man.
They didn't have much charisma for me.
To me, I thought their charisma came from their wrestling. They had had a top 5 manager ever. Jimmy Hart, yo.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So but we never seen dudes come in and wrestle in pink, yo. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
And be whipping, and like Bret Hart came with the Jerry curl and all that stuff, yo.
Yeah, sunglasses.
No, the dudes was fire, yo. You know what I'm saying?
He had the sunglasses, the leather jacket. Yeah, that's true.
Yo, they had to me, they had the look, yo. I mean, but it's not just them wrestling, it's who they wrestled against, yo. Their rivals was the British Bulldogs.
Yeah.
They used to go back. I used to love the British Bulldogs, yo. I think everybody did. They were like little Mighty Mouse out there, yo.
They were.
They were small, but they was like little pit bulls, you know what I'm saying? Like British Bulldog.
Yeah, honestly.
And Dynamite Kid, yo, you know what I'm saying? But them going against the Hart Foundation, that made my night, you know what I'm saying? But I could definitely see why people don't put the Hart Foundation in the top 10 because, they didn't have all the charisma, but I like the way Bret Hart looked, you know what I'm saying? Like with his aesthetics.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I can't deny technically you can watch a Bret Hart match and it looks great.
Yeah,
it looks great.
Yeah, Bret Hart can wrestle his ass off.
He can wrestle his ass off. He can not only he can take the bumps, make them look really good. He can do the moves, make them look good. You look at that match, that's textbook of how you wrestle and make it look good.
Yeah.
The only thing about Bret Hart that I didn't like as a cat, he wasn't that great on the mic. So to me, he was very boring. And when I would watch his wrestling matches were very technical. So there was nothing for me as a person watching it. I was like, yo, I get excited when I watch Bret Hart because I was like, I didn't hate him, but he never got me excited. That was really the thing. Where, Hulk Hogan is very awful in the ring, but yet he was very charismatic. And I never felt that Bret Hart, he wasn't really great in either one. He was really a great technical wrestler, but he wasn't an exciting wrestler. Like he didn't do any finishing moves off the top rope. He didn't do none of that shit, so.
Nah, he was definitely just below the square circle.
Yeah, that was it. He was below the square, knees, holds. The old school wrestling where you keep punching purple on one arm.
But the shoulder blade, they pull you like that.
Yeah. That's his type of wrestler. So that's why I was like, I don't know, but I can't get mad at it.
No, I can definitely say that. So let me say this though, since they stayed below the square circle, I'm gonna go to a group, not the only group, but one of the groups that was flying through the air was the Dudley Boys.
Yes.
No, I don't lie. The Dudley Boys is like. I thought they were corny, but I couldn't deny them, yo. Because every time they come on, I had to watch.
Oh, the Dudley Boys, Devon,
yeah,
the table,
they
put everybody through the table. Your mama, your grandmama,
and they had a hell of a finishing move.
Yeah.
The finishing move was they would throw the guy against the rope and would grab him, and then he would do like the diamond cutter on the other dude.
Off the top rope, like falling with him.
Yeah.
Yo, the Dudley Boys, they had the charisma. They can wrestle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The intro was fire.
The intro was great with the three fingers up in the air.
Yeah, I mean,
they won. I mean, to me, they're top 5 wrestlers.
I would think so. Yeah, especially with what they did with the TLC, the table, ladders, and chairs match against 2 other great tag teams that we have to throw in this list.
Yes,
the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian.
Yeah,
man, I mean, come on, y'all.
Yeah, they changed the game as far as for real. Like they upped the ante on all that shit.
Yeah,
they were so high flying, so like. And it wasn't even just high flying because they weren't just jumping out there like a leg drop. Them motherfuckers was doing some dangerous. I was like, yo, y'all might die at any moment.
That's for real. Their moves looked like they was about to kill themselves any moment.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Like they haven't gotten seriously injured. When I say seriously injured, I'm talking like a broken neck, broken back, stuff that you can't come back and wrestle from. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And the thing about it is, I remember seeing the Hardy Boys in person. I took my oldest son, he was about 3 or 4, maybe 5 at the time, to Richmond Coliseum. He didn't even know we was going. We just pulled up, and he just looking around. He's seeing all these people with wrestling shirts on. Took him to the arena. All he wanted to see was the Hardy Boys, yo.
Yeah.
The Hardy Boys came out. They was flying around. Man, they really had the crowd going.
Wow.
Like the intro music, they had like this like drum beat.
Yeah.
And the crowd just go crazy. Yo.
Yeah.
And like you said, the table, ladders, and chairs match.
Yeah.
That really helped WWF.
That set
at the time, yo.
Yeah, it really did. It was along with a couple other matches during the Attitude Era. Definitely the table, ladders, and chairs match set the stage of shooting WWE to a whole nother level during the Attitude Era, because nobody had ever did anything like that before. Not to that level for that long. Like you might have one person go through one table, but they were going through multiple tables, multiple times, and each time they were upping the ante on how high they were going to go through the table. Yeah, it was insane.
It was crazy. Insane. It was crazy because those original, like I remember they used to have like ladder matches back in the day, where you see the motherfuckers be on the ladder like the wrestlers, like they be on top of the joint, they be like, ooh. Like you know what I mean, like they were scared. You could tell, like but the Hardy Brothers like fuck all that. We just don't.
I mean even Edge and Christian, yo. I used to like Edge and Christian, yo.
Yeah,
like Edge had that spin.
Rated R superstar.
Yeah. I mean they were really good wrestlers. And they had stage presence and everything too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They were the first tag team that I ever knew that just went by their names. They didn't have a tag team name. It was just Edge and Christian.
Was it? Yeah, it was just Edge Christian, right?
That was just what they were. It was. I never seen anything like that before, but they were good. You got to give it up for them. They were really good. Of course, I didn't think, and this is in my bad, but I never thought Edge was going to blow up the way that he did. I did not know that because he came into the league. Remember, he was part of the Brood or the they were like the death.
It was like vampires. Whatever.
Yeah, they were like vampires. They was wearing all the dark clothes. I'm glad they got out of that because they were part of that type of character. But they got out of that, and I was like, this is whack, yo. But Edge, he surprised me, man. He surprised me, but he's a hell of a wrestler. Definitely. And Edge too. I mean, Christian too. I mean, but And you got to give it up. Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys.
Man,
I care for you.
I got Dudley Boys in my top 5, yo.
Yeah,
like,
Dudley
Hardy Boys
good.
is kind of teetering on the top 5 to me because they like the Steph Curry.
And they weren't good on the mic. The Dudley Boys were good on the mic. They had charisma and they had moves.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian, I think the Dudley Boys had all three, where Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys don't have all three. Like Edge and Christian might have the looks, but they may not do everything great. Where the Hardy Boys had the looks, but they weren't good on the mic. You know, it was so. You know, I would have to put the Dudley Boys over them too. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so let me change it up a little bit. I'm gonna give you some lesser known wrestling tag teams, but they were still a tag team. First one up is the Hollywood Blondes. Anybody know who the Hollywood Blondes was, yo?
Never heard of them.
Everybody know who Flying Brian Pillman is, right? Everybody, you remember Flying
Brian?
Brian?
Flying Brian.
Yeah, Flying
Brian. And Stunning Steve Austin.
Stone Cold before he was Stone Cold.
Stunning Steve Austin.
Stunning Steve Austin.
He had hair. His hair started way back here. He still had long blonde hair.
Yeah, he had long blonde hair. Yeah.
And they was some Hollywood. They had Hollywood Blondes. They was on WCW and then Stone Cold.
Wow.
You know, Brian Pillman, he died in a hotel room or some shit. And Stone Cold, we already know who Stone Cold is. Another one is Rockin' Sock, yo.
Oh, with
Rockin' Mick Foley, yo.
The Rockin' Mick Foley, Mankind.
Mankind and Nick Foley. I don't remember them having
that. They won a championship a couple times.
Yeah, they won. It was a short stint though.
Yeah, I don't consider them a tag team though. They just came together. They just put them together. They weren't like a real tag team to me.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, what about the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks? Remember when Hulk Hogan and Macho Man got together for a hot second?
Yeah,
it was a hot second though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like some of these like forced tag teams. You know what I'm saying? Just for whatever reason, like The Rock and Mankind together, it was funny.
Yeah,
like
it was funny. I remember that. Yeah,
know what I'm saying? And Hulk Hogan and Rock and Macho Man, we really don't remember that. Like that seemed super forced at the time.
It was because they weren't even really good friends with each other at the time, and it was like Vince just put them two together to make them a tag team, and you could tell because their chemistry, it just wasn't there, you know. Then Macho Man teamed up with the Ultimate Warrior, and they were the Ultimate Maniacs or something like that. Like
trash.
That's what it was. That was early '90s WWE.
90s. Yeah, that was right before the Attitude Era. Yeah, when they were just throwing everything at the wall. But then you have one really good person on the mic and one really bad person on the mic trying to do a promo. Don't ever look at their promos. It's awful. Macho Man kills it because Macho Man is just good.
You know he do. Yeah, he don't do his thing.
I would have to put Macho Man probably one of my top 5 of all time.
Oh
yeah. Gotta put him on the top 5 for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, yo. So do y'all remember the natural disasters, yo?
Yeah, I remember
Typhoon and Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Because who was Earthquake was one of them was somebody else, like the Big Boss Man, right?
Nah.
No.
Big Boss Man was by himself.
But I remember Earthquake used to jump.
But I'm talking about they like changed their name. I gotta look him up. One of them was
Typhoon
somebody
changed his name to like a black name, yo.
What, like Reggie or something?
No, Tyrone,
Typhoon to Tyrone.
Yo, he was a caricature, dog. Oh my gosh, yo. Dog, I'm gonna find.
I remember that the natural disasters.
And they was like sitting on people and all that shit.
Yeah, that's what they used to sit on people.
Oh man, remember that one group where it was Rikishi,
Too Cool,
and
yo,
horrible, man.
Dog, I was so offended by watching these Bammers on TV, yo.
Me too, man.
Like no matter what, people used to love when they start doing that dumbass dance and shit, yo.
God, I couldn't stand that shit, man.
And then just to be putting his ass in people's face and shit.
Yeah, Rikishi do that. Do you know his sons are in wrestling right now though?
Yeah, the Usos.
The Usos are fucking killing it, yo.
Dog.
Those dudes the Usos, they bad, yo. They bad. They started off with a different style. but now they like all the way. They different now. The Usos, they tight, and the Usos go against the New Day, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
I have no idea who those people are.
Yeah, but the Usos is tight. Let's see who else we got up here. But anybody? I don't know. I mean, the natural disasters was whack. The ultimate man.
I'm gonna save my. I got an honorable mention, but I'm gonna save it to the end.
The Undertaker and Kane used to be a tag team for a hot second.
Yeah.
I mean, they was brothers of destruction. Yo.
Yeah. They ran.
That was dope.
Yeah, they ran shit for a minute. You know what I mean?
Who was gonna beat them?
Yeah.
Then nobody, yo. And that's the thing, yo.
Yeah, Kane was that nigga for a minute. Kane.
I love Kane coming to the ring, yo.
Dog. Kane is a beast.
The worst thing they did was start letting him talk.
You think so?
Yeah, I
think never talk.
He should have just been Michael Myers the whole time. Like he should have just been like the motherfucking killer. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely right, yo.
Did the Undertaker talk that much on the mic? I don't think he talked that much either.
He used to talk every now and then. Because at first he had your boy that used to carry the urn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? But I think Paul Bear. Yeah, I think Paul Bear. I think he ended up dying though. Rest in peace to him. I think. Did he die?
No.
Did he die?
Wasn't he Brother Love after a while? No, wrong guy. Sorry. Never. That's not him.
No.
Yeah, but that's a different rap.
But I think
Paul Bear probably did die.
I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on it. If you're still alive, shout out to you. But I think he died, and that's when Undertaker started talking more. Like once he left, like once he split from him, because he may have died after this. I mean, after this split. But whenever that split happened, for whatever reason, that's when Undertaker started talking more. Like he used to talk every night.
He died in 2013. So.
Oh yeah,
so he was still living.
So he was still living back then. So whenever they split, though, that's when because Undertaker he used to talk a little bit, but he used to just say a couple of words. You know what I mean? A couple
of words, and that was it.
Yeah, and try to look menacing.
Yeah.
You. Like he'd do some shit like that. That'll be it, though.
So I guess I mean, can we go ahead and get to what I think is best tag team of all time, at least for me as personal?
Well, I want to do one honorable mention, yo, because I already know who everybody else's number one is. At least I have an idea of it, and I gotta give great value. And when I say great value, I'm talking about Walmart brand. Demolition.
Demolition.
Smash and crush.
Yo, call me. Like I know I was so couple. I was like, I ain't fuck with it. I'm gonna be the corny one, yo. I used to like Demolition, yo.
I did too.
Yo, Demolition used to right, yo, because they used to fuck people up, yo.
They did. They fucked everybody up in the WWF.
Yeah, it wasn't even like great wrestlers. They used to just fuck you. I'm just gonna fuck you all up, pretty much. That was it. Yeah.
That's true. They were not great wrestlers. They were just like big moves.
Yeah.
That's true.
Street Fighters, yo. No, they came in with the heavy metal look. They had like the silver face paint.
Yeah, the silver face paint. Yeah,
they had
man, I couldn't get into Demolition, man. I didn't hate them. For me, they were like a broke down. They were like a broke off Kiss, trying to be.
Yeah, that was definitely off brand.
Yeah, they were. They
were off brand for real to me. Yeah. They were off brand for two people.
Yeah,
they were off brand for Kiss. And another tag team that I think is the best tag team.
Go ahead, you can go ahead and put it out there. Yo, we know who is number one.
Man, my number one tag team, which is the knockoff of Demolition, because I don't care what anybody say. Vince McMahon knew this team was something. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to make me a team to be like this team. Yeah. My number one tag team of all time is the Road Warriors, man. Hawk and Animal. Yeah. The Legion of Doom. To me, that's the best tag team of all time. But like I said earlier, Phenom, I might have to put him at number 2 because of this one little thing. But other than that, yo, I'm a Road Warrior fan.
That's why I say the Road Warriors are probably number 1 because if everybody made a list, then they're probably 1, 2, 3. Like they don't be like top 3.
Be the top.
Everybody's list. Yes. So when you look at that type of thing, they're definitely like, you know what I mean, up there.
Number 1.
Yeah, they're number 1 to me. So I can't hate on that at all. I mean, they were just shit.
How did y'all feel, man? Like when you first just saw I mean,
like,
come on now.
These dudes crazy. You hear that music? They had that damn shit. That music. Oh, okay, well.
They're coming down with the shoulder pads with the spikes on them.
Yeah.
Come on, yo. Oh, that you couldn't beat it. And you know, I'm going to go ahead, finish.
Their finishing move.
Oh, they have one of the greatest finishing moves ever. Yeah,
shoulders and Hawk would come off and suplex them.
No, and they be flipping in the air, yo.
Yeah, definitely one of the greatest.
I would not want to be on the receiving end of that.
Nah,
no, they were definitely, to me, they were what, if you ever wanted a tag team to have they could talk on the mic, they had the look, and they had the moves, and they were complementary to each other because Animal was much more brute guy, much more forceful. Yeah. Hawk was still big, but could do more of the flying stuff. Yeah. So, yo, man, you couldn't beat the Road Warriors. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be ignorant, but I thought they were brothers when I was growing up. Yo. I
thought they were brothers for a minute, but later on I didn't.
When I mean brother, I'm talking about black.
Oh, no.
No, they look white as hell to me.
I'm like, yeah, man. I thought they were brothers too. Like, yeah, they got the same daddy at least. This motherfucker said no.
Talking about this. I did, yo. I remember being a kid. I was like, yo, we got some black tag teamers like that. I just couldn't, yo. But you know, that was my ignorance because I was from the country and I just never saw white people so tan before. So I thought they were just light-skinned brothers.
I mean, they did have tan sometimes. Sometimes they did, especially was a Hawk used to be tan a lot. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think. But
they were good, man. But y'all go ahead, man. I'm geeking out on the
no, I mean, I think the Road Warriors definitely are the top. I think they were the most popular.
I would agree with that.
Growing up, I think they were just intimidating. You know, everybody wanted to see the they always stick out their tongue and shit like that too.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And then you know, God, they were so good on the mic. What was that name of that move? It was the what was their finishing move? The it was the oh God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Damn it, their finishing move. But anyway, I used to love Google it, Ali. What was the name of their finishing move? Because that jump was fire. But yeah, I used to love because Hawk used to always have a saying at the end of all his promos, like, "Oh, what a rush!" I used to love that shit, yo.
They said they used to call it the Doomsday Device, but I don't remember that being the name.
That wasn't what it was called. It was called
I don't remember that.
It was called something. It might have been called the Doomsday Device. No, I don't think that's it.
It could be. I mean, like, they probably know. Look, we just watched the shit.
Yeah, we just watched the shit, and shit was dope to me, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Road Wars is at my top. The only reason why I was saying I might not put them at the top is because the Road Wars, even though they were the most popular group, they didn't win the title as often as I would have thought they would have won it. If you really think about it, they never really held on to the championship title. They only won it like once.
But I think that's more of the time they were in. Because even though they weren't bad guys per se, they were kind of bad guys, like right. Yeah. And you know, back then, you know, you had to keep the baby faces with the belt. That's all. And, you know, they lost it every now and then, but you already knew they was gonna get it back. You know what I mean? So whoever the hot team back then, you know, once the anti-hero started getting play on TV and shit, that's when other people could win the belts and hold on to it. But yeah, I just don't think they were ever going to let them hold the belt that long just because of the way they looked and shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I guess they didn't think they were marketable, but damn, yo, I thought
it's funny because they're like super, like one of the most popular joints, but
they weren't the most popular.
But
it was.
But they did grow up in a time period, like you're making a really good point, where what do they call? They have wrestling regions, and whoever was just in charge of that region, if they had their favorites, regardless of what the fans loved, they were just going to give it to their favorites at the time. And they didn't have the look of everybody else. They were completely different than everybody else, and they weren't a baby face and they weren't a heel. They
were like in that in between zone. But that's what I'm saying. Like
anti-heroes.
They weren't bad, but they was bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were like bad good guys, but then they would do bad shit to good guys too.
Yeah,
because sometimes they beat up on Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, they beat up on everybody.
Yeah, they were like the Attitude Era, like somebody in the Attitude Era. They would have been perfect if they came out during the Attitude Era, but they were just before their time. But they definitely set the stage, man, because there will never be another Road Wars. They've come close.
Yeah, I mean, I think
but never.
Consensus number one has to be the Road Warriors. You know what I mean? And like I said, I love the Dudley Boys. I think the Dudley Boys is second. Like I mean, because everything that they do, and the Hardy Boys is up there. But you know, the Four Horsemen, yo, like it was just that time you had to be there.
But they're not a tag team, though.
I know, man.
I can't. But that's what I was wondering, Corey, when you said if not the Road Warriors, who would be the
If it's not the Road Wars, then it would probably be the Dudley. For me, my second favorite would be the Dudley Boys.
Really? I'm not gonna get on the Dudleys, man. I just thought that because I know the white dude was like, he was just so corny, yo.
But I was a really big fan of the Rock and Roll Express growing up. Yeah. But I hated the fact that the Rock and Roll Express always lost to the Midnight Express. So that's why I wouldn't. But if I had to put my top five, the Rock and Roll Express is definitely my top five. The New Age Outlaws is definitely my top five because I love them motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, like but even like we forgetting like wrestling groups like the Rockers, like Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels when they first came out.
Yeah, when they first came out, like WWF was always biting off NWA, man.
Always.
But they just had the better marketing machine, yo. Like for real,
they had the money.
The Rockers were shit, but the Rock and Roll Express, the New Age, they even had like they had like the bandanas and shit, like you know what I mean? Like they
That's right.
They were always going to find another character to knock off and put them in the WWF, especially if they were hitting, you know. So
the Rockers, I remember them.
One group I used to love. I don't know why they used to get their ass whooped every week. Was the Bushwhackers, yo. They came out there like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they get their ass whooped every week, yo.
Every week.
But
they almost got their ass beat bad as Nikita and Ivan Nikolov.
The
Russian sickle.
The Russian sickle. I forgot what they called them when they was together, but they wanted. But that's when America was. They was never gonna let them win. Like motherfuckers like them and the Iron Sheik and all them. Like they had no chance of ever winning.
Ever. The Iron Sheik luckily won the title, but he won the title only to have it taken away by Hulk Hogan. I mean, that was the only reason.
Yeah, also used to beef with Sergeant Slaughter, yo. Sergeant Slaughter and Iron Sheik used to be going at it, yo. I met Nikita Koloff in Walmart in Hampton, yo. He was signing signing stuff in there, like. But he ain't from Russia. He's like from Minnesota or some shit.
Yeah, he lives like I think he lives like North Carolina or some shit. Like he's he used to live out in the sticks somewhere.
Oh man, he really did that character in because I thought that dude was from Russia. The way he was talking and everything, he had the bald head like he shaved that shit with a knife.
I had to lie. The Russian sickle, like it was simple, but that was like one of my favorite shits, yo. Like he Russian sickle your ass was a rat, yo.
Dude, he would catch some folks around the neck. I love the Russian sickle. That's probably my favorite move next to the flying lariat. Larry Windham.
Larry Windham, that's a throwback.
Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda. Yo, that's what you said. You said you didn't know dudes that use their whole names. Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda.
There was a tag team.
It was a tag team. Yeah.
Do y'all remember when Mike Rotunda came to the WWE and he was tag team partners with Ted DiBiase?
No.
He used to go by the name of IRS.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was him.
Oh my goodness,
I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, I remember the IRS.
Man. Yeah, I remember IRS.
Ted DiBiase. And Ted DiBiase about to go to jail. Yo.
I didn't know that. Oh really? Oh
yeah, with the Brett Favre shit, yo, crazy, yo. Him and his son, yo. But like $10 Million Man. I met Virgil in Potomac Mills before, yo.
Man, fuck Virgil, yo. I hated Virgil with a passion. I was like,
I couldn't stand him, yo.
Coon ass motherfucker.
I hated Virgil.
Yeah, and he was sitting there. I had all my kids with me. He said, "This all your kids?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You a jackhammer, ain't you?" I like, but yo, I'm telling you, man, I don't know, like these wrestlers out, they obviously don't do it like they used to, but they used to be posted up in different spots and stuff, yo. It was on some random shit, like seeing Virgil up in Potomac Mills, man.
Yeah, they definitely used to go on their little signing tours. Well, I wouldn't call it tours, but like you said, they'll show up at the Walmart here or something here and there, you know what I mean, a little convention here. Not even a big convention, it could just be whatever. But
it's good stuff, man. I mean, I
do want to give a shout out.
Yeah,
you mentioned the Bushwhackers losing all the time, yo. Now, it was one team that lost and lost and lost and lost, and this is a real throwback.
Okay.
Now, I remember when they won one, yo. The motherfucker Mulkey Brothers. You remember who I'm talking about? You know who I'm talking about? At the NWA, yo. Because I used to call them the Monkeys, but then I do like the Mulkey Brothers. And the NWA, yo, they used to lose all the time. Like, they lost, and they won one match, and they motherfuckers celebrated like they won the championship. And, like, everybody was like, oh, my God, they won. Like, yo, you don't know that. Phenom, you know what I'm talking about?
I remember. They want the Monkey Brothers. It was something else.
No, that's like Mulkey, whatever. That's what I was looking at.
Look this up real quick.
And they won one match, yo.
Let me see this.
Mulkey, Mulkey, yeah. I remember them, yo. Yes, I remember these.
And they won one match, and they celebrated like they won the belts. Like, it was crazy. You don't remember that? Like, I know you still remember because they used to wrestle all the time, and they used to get their ass whipped like quick.
They were like the team that they would put out for everybody to whip their ass.
Yeah. It was like the Washington Generals, so you just send them out there, boom, they get their ass whipped.
It was a whole bunch of dudes like that.
But I just remember when they won the one match, so they celebrated so hard. Like, the announcers was going crazy. Like, everybody, the whole arena was going crazy. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
No,
Oh, man, that's so
They got
funny.
them listed as one of the worst tag teams of all time.
Yeah. They gotta be, yo. What their records like 1 in 1,000. Like, I don't think they won but one match their whole life.
Yo, I'm looking at it, yo.
Oh man, that's funny.
All of you pull something out, yo.
No, only reason because I have a memory, like, you know, the random memories that burn in your brain of me watching TV when they won the match, and like the announcers just going crazy, like everybody was just going crazy. The arena went crazy, like everybody went crazy because they won the match. Like, they jumped on the mic after, like they got mic time and everything. Of course, you know it's wrestling's all set, but they got mic time and everything afterwards. It's like, oh my, you know what I mean? They was up there talking their little shit. And then got their ass whooped again, like next match. But you know how they go.
But there was so many wrestlers back in the day who didn't even get an intro. They just be standing in the ring.
They were already in the ring.
Yeah, for real.
And if you know me, back in the 80s and 90s, you knew they was gonna get their ass whipped.
Yeah, for real. You just in the ring when they show up, they're like, the next match, you just in the ring.
They already in the ring, and when they show their full name, you're like, yep, he doesn't even have on like colored trousers. They just blue or red.
Yeah, the solid colors.
Yeah, the solid colors.
They be in the ring, just try to warm up. Just
They would do.
Oh my God.
like, you better get your ass whipped.
You knew they was gonna get their ass whipped because then they'll introduce a wrestler and he coming down the ramp into the ring. Yeah, you about to get your ass whipped.
Definitely.
Oh, man, that was good stuff, man. That's wrestling, yo.
Yeah,
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
It was good times, man. Good times back then, yo.
Yeah, definitely good times. All right, man. Anybody? I can't think of any other tag teams.
Yeah,
which
not
I'm
tag
sure.
teams. I'm sure we missed
Yeah.
some. Somebody's gonna mention something like, "Yo, what about such and such?"
You know, and for everybody that's watching this, look, if there's a tag team that we missed, because there are a lot, and we went over quite a few decades, the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s with the Attitude Era, let us know, because I'm sure there's some we missed, you know, but put it in the comments below. But I think that's a wrap. I think that's a wrap for this top tag teams of all time. Anybody else got anything else they want to say?
Yo, man, I'm glad I'm getting to see some of these wrestlers that actually made it to old age. But you know, like the Rock and Roll Express, they still out there wrestling, man.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, the dudes, they look terrible.
I was gonna
Guess what?
say,
They living, yo.
I know how old I am, so no motherfuckers.
Niggas in their 60s.
Dead.
Yeah. There's definitely a time period where you gotta stop.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Ric Flair.
Yo,
Oh,
he held out to the end. I was like, yo, dude. Yo,
But it is what it is, man. I'm just glad, to see just our wrestling heroes get to that old age where we can, you know what I'm saying, like still, because a lot of them died, like Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
talking about Flying Brian and all that stuff.
Yeah, especially back in the day, they went real early.
Yeah,
wrestling, it's the hard life, and then there was all types of drugs and this and that. So
yeah, it's not easy. So it's and I love it and if you may not ever have done this, but I love watching when they go make the Hall of Fame and they give their induction speech and all that kind of stuff. It's good to watch, man. You see some wrestlers, they really feel good about having an opportunity to be there for one, living, to talk in front of all the mass of these people about their wrestling career, man. It's really good. One of the best Hall of Fame induction ceremonies I ever saw speech was by my man, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Yo, that's top 5 one of my favorite wrestlers ever.
One of the top 5 people on the mic. Dusty Rhodes, The Rock, Ric Flair. I'll think of somebody else, but Stone Cold. Yeah.
There's one that don't sleep on him. He's still out there wrestling. Motherfucking Chris Jericho, yo. Chris Jericho was one of the funniest.
Yeah.
Yo, he's antagonist. He's still out there. I'm telling you, man. Chris Jericho.
I had to watch. Yeah, I remember him. I remember he used to get on people's nerves, though.
Yeah, you gotta think that was his stick. Yeah. He came out with the countdown.
Oh yeah, he did used to do the countdown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he could wrestle though. That was one thing. Yeah, Jericho could always wrestle for real.
Yeah,
what y'all got to do too. There's a lot of wrestling content that's been coming on TV now, especially like on A&E and Vice. They do like the thing called like the Dark Side of Wrestling.
Yeah, the Dark Side of Wrestling.
Very good.
Yo, that's
just good.
Yo, that shit.
And then they got
crazy,
another show where it's like it's called Territories or something. You know how we talked about the different wrestling territories?
Yeah.
They talk about all the different parts where all the mainstream wrestlers came from, like different territories of wrestling. And they got like a lot of I saw the Bushwhackers up there talking. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. The stories from back in the day. It's like the NBA. We talk about NBA stories. There was no camera back then. All you hear is the stories that people, even like hip hop and all that stuff. Everything now was captured. Yeah, everybody has a camera. Everybody has a mic. But back then, there was nothing. Wow. So it's good TV, man. I love it.
I need to do that, man. I just recently got Vice, so I definitely got to check out Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side
of the Ring, so good.
The one that the black dude, I cannot think of his name, yo.
The one that just recently died. The crazy dude that was like cutting people. He would cut himself and
like ECW or some shit.
Yeah,
God, what was his name, man? He was crazy, yo. He was like stabbing people in the ring.
Yeah. He got a couple of charges, and he put an 18-year-old in the hospital. Like, dude just wanted to wrestle. Like he was wild. I watched that episode. I was like, yo, this dude is crazy for real.
Name, man.
He had some CTE or something, yo. I don't know what he had.
Oh,
what was his name?
He was crazy for real, yo. Yeah, he was in the ECW. He was in the
Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
I can't remember his damn name. And it's going to come to me after we get off this call. But if you guys remember his name, which I'm sure he's a black guy, crazy ass dude, beating the shit out of people, but recently just died maybe about a couple of years ago right before COVID. But anyway.
Yeah, I know.
This guy, but anyway, that's all I got on this show. Anything before we end this? We definitely are going to have to do this again because we're going to have to definitely we talked about the top tag teams of all time. You guys leave your comments below on what else you would like us to talk about because I'm already thinking, man, the worst tag teams of all time, the top wrestlers of all time, top people on the mic of all time. There's so much that we can do, and we can easily go in each era as well, as far as the 80s, the 90s, and the Attitude Era. So there's a lot to talk about, but I think this is a good show. I think we can go ahead and wrap this up. What's up, fellas? All right. Well, everybody, like I always said, if you made it this far and you've watched more than 2 of our videos, like I always say, don't forget, just go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm Corey Roy. That's Phenom 202. That's my man, Hollywood DA. And we'll be back here with another show, another episode. Peace.
You can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you get with this, because this is where it's at. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you'll get with this, cause this is where it's at. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you'll get with this, cause this is where it's at.
WWF